I'm Caitlin. This is Citizen Zero, and this week I'm asking you to face our greatest challenge today: listening. Know thyself. To thine own self be true. And check yourself before you wreck yourself. Over the centuries, we've gotten a lot of warnings to look at ourselves first before creating demands of others. It's not a bad philosophy either. You can only safely push past your limits by knowing what they are in the first place. Our limitation right now in politics is that we don't ask ourselves enough questions. Too many of us are too sure about what's real. It almost doesn't matter what we say to each other because our minds are too hardened and inflexible to accept new information. I know the pushback I'm going to get already, and I've been there too. But I'm right. That's what you want to say. It's what we all want to say. Those people over there don't understand what's going on. We have an unassailable understanding of truth. We alone have a philosophy that functions. If people just listen to us, these problems would be solved. If you hear yourself saying these things when you think about politics, or if you recognize that this is what you hear in one form or another, when you do tune in, then congratulations, you've learned something about yourself that can transform your citizenship. What we all must acknowledge for politics to work is that we don't know everything. There is no magical, singular philosophy that will work for all people, on all occasions, everywhere. Most of the successes we've had in moving forward as people and Americans required collaboration and searching for truth with a capital T. No human being has monopoly on that. And that brings me back to the beginning. For our citizenship to mean something, we have to know ourselves first. Know what you do have expertise in. Know what you don't. Except that you will have to defer to others sometimes. People who have experience or knowledge that they've built over years. You don't have to agree with them. But you have to acknowledge that your view comes from limited information compared to theirs. And if you really disagree, then continue asking questions and searching for the answers from people with high levels of expertise. Over time, you'll build your own base of knowledge. You're stubborn. I know. I'm stubborn. But the truth is, you already take this advice and use it all the time. The vast majority of us are not contractors, but we live in houses and work in buildings that require their assistance all the time. When something goes wrong, and something is always going wrong, we try to see what the problem is, determine whether or not we have the knowledge to solve it ourselves, and then defer to experts if it seems that we can't handle it. Depending on the problem, it can seem terrifying to put yourself in the hands of this other person and their supposed expertise. And that's where building trust comes in. You check their track record, see what else they've done, maybe even talk with former customers. The better these things are, the more you trust them to do the work that has to be done. If the work turns out well, then your due diligence paid off. But if you never do the due diligence, if you never ask questions, you will find yourself possibly in a worse position than you started with. It's not too hard to translate that to politics. Once you do, you'll find yourself doing more listening than talking. Knowing that you don't have knowledge of everything, that your philosophy cannot possibly fix everything, will free you to actually try to solve problems. Your mind will become flexible again, and we'll start talking about the best way to move forward rather than getting stuck in our positions, sniping at each other. So start by asking yourself some questions about what you know, what you don't, where the evidence is, how it was gathered, and who you can trust to fix the problem. You may not always come to consensus, but that's okay. At least we've got a start. Common questions lead to common facts, lead to a common reality, leads to common solutions. We've been given the power to ask, which so many people are denied now and throughout history. So ask, what are you going to do with your democracy?